Hello and welcome to episode 266 of the Good Girls Get Rich podcast. I'm Karen Yankovich, and I am excited to be wishing you all a happy holiday season. This episode is going live on Christmas Day 2023. So if you're celebrating Christmas, Merry Christmas. Whatever you're celebrating, happy everything. And I hope that you're taking some time the end of 2023 to just reflect a little bit on all of the amazing things that happened for you in 2023. I think we spend a lot of time thinking about what didn't work, but I want you to really just spend some time this week reflecting on what did work. And what we're going to be talking about today is Christmas presents, right? I mean, isn't that what you're supposed to be talking about on Christmas? At least in my crazy, gigantic Italian family. That's what we talk a lot about, that and food. But today we're not talking about food. We're talking about presents. And what I want you to do today is consider giving yourself a gift, because the absolute best gift you can ever give yourself is an investment in you, right? That is something that will always pay off. It is never a bad idea to invest in yourself. So I want to dive into that today and talk a little bit about my journey with all of that, right? And hopefully you can relate to some of it. I remember when I first started this version of my business, there was a conference that I don't even think the conference is there anymore, called the World Domination Summit. And I was watching some of my business friends that were going to this conference, and I was like, how are you guys doing this? Right? Like, my business was doing okay, but airfare, a hotel, conference attendance, like who's spending 5 grand or whatever that came to do that? Like I didn't get it. I totally didn't get that was not an extravagance, that was an investment. And so if you are thinking that as you're listening to this, you're in good company. You're not alone, right? You're not alone. But investing in yourself is the absolute ultimate gift, because when and ladies, I'm speaking specifically to you here. I don't know why this is the case, but it happens to be, in my experience, what I see. We are so quick to help our kids or our loved ones with what they want, right? Your kid wants insanely expensive lacrosse lessons, right? Or whatever that is. We find a way to make that happen. We find a way to make that happen. I mean, odds are they're not going to be a professional lacrosse player, right? But you want to invest in their success. You want to be supportive, right? So we spend an insane amount of money on those kinds of things, and then hesitate when it comes to investing in ourselves, right? So, I want to try to shift that narrative as you step into the new year here. Okay. Because it is absolutely transformative when you start to think about like what the difference self-investment will make in your life and in your business. And there are tons of studies and statistics, and I researched them, and I was going to start quoting them, but I was like, yeah, no, they're boring me. They're going to bore you, right? You can do that. You can do some research and see, but you probably don't need to, right? You probably know that success comes from people that work hard, right? Success comes from people that work hard. And when I say work hard, I don't mean like you might be working hard and not investing in yourself, right? But what I mean by that is, you know, and also I don't, when I mean by work hard, I don't mean the hustle. I mean, maybe I shouldn't be saying work hard. Maybe I should say working smarter, right? Learning how to do things, getting good at what you do, and also getting good at understanding maybe it makes more sense for you to invest in support, because even investing in support is investing in you, right? Like if you're spending hours a day editing your videos and you hate it, right? Pay somebody to edit your videos so you can spend hours a day generating new sales, right? That's an investment in yourself, right? But we're specifically really going to be talking about getting some coaching or mentoring support. I came from corporate, right? So when I was in corporate, I didn't ever think that. I thought coaching, like especially like life coaching, like Oprah, like you guys remember like the Gilmore Girls? Did you guys remember when Paris got a life coach, and Lorelai was like, I love life coach like Oprah. Like that's kind of how I thought it, right? I didn't understand that coaching wasn't about, like like just like poofy kind of things in my life. It was important stuff. It's important stuff. Nobody that's a highly successful athlete would be able to be where they are without a coach, right? But somehow we think we can do it. We think we don't need to have a coach. So once I shifted my attitude around the importance of coaching, actually, once I hired a coach, it really wasn't until I hired a coach and said, let me check this thing out. Right. But, even as I talk to people now, like even people in my personal life, friends and relatives who might be struggling with things and getting therapy, and I'm a big fan of getting therapy. I also think sometimes we need coaching. Right. Because therapy helps us understand the whys behind we're doing things. And, I am no expert at the difference between therapy and coaching, but sometimes we need to relearn. We need to learn new ways of doing things, right? And that's more coaching in my world than, or my mind, than therapy, right? If you want to really have 2024 be different than the things you were doing in 2023, then maybe it's time to think about what investing in yourself looks like. And the first thing I always want you to invest in, and that's your personal brand, right? How you're showing up in the world. We live in a world where everything, virtual is important, right? Your digital presence is important. How you show up, what happens when people throw your name in a search bar, it's important. So do that. And one of the first things you can be investing in is, are you showing up the way you want to be seen? Are people seeing you in the way that you want to be seen? Right? I think going back to LinkedIn is important with that. LinkedIn, especially as we move into 2024, I want you to really understand LinkedIn is the tool that I think is brilliant to help us with these things. But it's not the do all end all. It's the tool, right? What's important is the brand. LinkedIn happens to be one of the first things that will come up when people search you. So let's take control of our LinkedIn profile, right? We can. So we should, right? So take me a little time this year to invest in creating a LinkedIn profile. And again, you hear me talk a lot about PR as well. The PR piece is also part of your personal brand, because when people search, throw your name in a Google search, what shows up is part of your personal brand. And if you're showing up that you're quoted in newspapers and magazines and interviewed on podcasts and on TV, whatever, right? That helps with your brand, right? So think about how, as you move into 2024, you can invest in that. Okay. You can invest in that. And, one of the first things that I want you to remember is that you don't have to do this yourself. And in fact, you shouldn't do this yourself. Like, listen, I have DIY versions of the work that I do. And if you don't know what that looks like, DM me on LinkedIn and, and I can share that with you. And the reason you probably maybe you don't even know that I have that. In fact, one of them, you go to linkedinprofiletraining.com, right? And that will get you the DIY version of our LinkedIn profile training. The reason is it's so hard to do this ourselves. So yeah, you can invest, a very little amount of money and get a DIY version of my LinkedIn profile training and try to do it yourself. And is that investing in yourself? It is, right? Is it the same as investing in your kid in that high-end lacrosse camp? It's not. It's definitely not, because what you're getting, what you're probably doing is paying for coaches for your kids, right? So getting some guidance on this, right? Like professional guidance from people that have been there before, that have done it before. If 2023 Karen told, let's go with 2003 Karen, like 20 years ago, Karen, that I would be investing the kind of money that I invest today in coaching and training and personal development for myself, personally, professionally, and personally, I'd be kicking my own butt. I'd be like, are you crazy? What are you doing? What? That's a lot of money, right? Worth every dime times 10. Every investment I make in myself comes back to me 10 times over, right? So yeah, could I invest in a $50 something or $100 something and have it be a $500 or $1,000 something? Yeah. But what if I invested in a $10,000 something or $100,000 something, and now that $100,000 something is bringing me in $1,000,000, right? I don't throw those numbers around lightly. That is the difference between investing in DIY type stuff and investing in somebody that can support you with this, that can help you with this, somebody that's been there, that's done that, and has credible, success stories with the people that they've helped with this, right? I know I can hear across the ethers. All the imposter syndrome that's eking up. Like, Karen, I cannot spend $100,000 on myself in 2024. Okay, I hear that, but understand that it's normal to have imposter syndrome. Whether you're investing $1 or $1,000,000, there's imposter syndrome around. Is this worth it? Am I worth it? Right? And this is another reason why a support system is important, because these people can help you understand that you have to think bigger and you have to show up bigger, and you are worthy of, hanging out with the most credible people in your industry, right? And having people invest in you in that 5K, 10K, 100K investment level. It absolutely can happen, and it should be happening for you. If you are listening to this podcast, you are likely somebody who is maybe thinking about opening a business, thinking about being a coach or a consultant, or maybe you're a real estate agent, or maybe you are a coach or a consultant, right? Some kind of entrepreneur, you have some kind of entrepreneurial spirit, right? Anybody that has that entrepreneurial spirit, that also has the desire to create actual wealth, has the ability to do it in this world we live in right now. We have more control of our destiny as entrepreneurs than we did when we had paychecks, right? Because we don't have that same control. In fact, many of them, when I work with, almost way more than half are women leaving corporate, leaving their paychecks, and stepping into a new role as an entrepreneur, because they can craft their life there, right? They can craft their life there. So how could you know how to do this if you are leaving corporate and stepping into this new role? How could you possibly know how to do this yourself? Sure. Could you watch 6,000 YouTube videos? You could. Can you listen to hours and hours of podcasts? You could, right? But getting personal guidance helps you get fresh perspectives, valuable insights specific to you, right? Specific to you. In our she's 12-week, like our signature 12-week She's Linked Up Accelerator program, everybody gets a custom solution. We don't have a cookie cutter answer. If you go with my LinkedIn profile training, it's cookie cutter. You get the same training everybody else gets. But when you invest at the higher levels in yourself, you get more specific support. In fact, as we move into 2024, we are actually building in more done for you resources in this program. We are going to just kind of immerse you in a personalized experience that you can take with you on the other side of it, because I want to do everything I can to help you have that success. Okay. So building a support network and understanding that when we do that, by the way, it's not just the training and the strategy and the mindset work that we give you, it's the community that you get. It's all these other women that I work with that get to meet each other, that get to help each other think bigger. And I'm sure you've heard me say this before if you've listened to the show, but I'm sure you have people in your life that support you and love you and want the best for you. But if they're not entrepreneurs, they don't get it. They don't get it. You need to surround yourself from mentors and peers, even online communities, right? And every year we get older, this gets more important, right? Because frankly, as far as the way that I see it and the way that it seems to be for many of the women I work with, I just don't have time for the nonsense anymore. Like I don't want the nonsense. I just want to go straight to the opportunities. And that's what I see from many of the people that I work with. And what happens when you do that, when you're starting to surround yourself only with the people, like really being picky with who you surround yourself with. Listen, I wasn't only with the people. I'm not saying cut people out of your life, but let's not bring in new people that are going to drag you down, right? Let's bring in all new people that are going to lift you up. Okay. But this takes an investment. And again, how could you possibly think you could do this at even as smart as you are? Right? How you've never done this before. If reading books was going to get you there, you think I'd need all the billions of books that are behind me here? Right? Like I have so many books, and that's not my Kindle and my Audible account, right? Like I love to learn, and I'm always looking for the next level and things. I'm always looking to learn. And are those investments in myself? They absolutely are, but they're not going to get me to the $1 million business, the multiple $1 million business that I want to be, that I'm building, right? So the only way I'm going to get there is by investing in support. You've got to do something different, and you've got to invest in yourself. And these are investments in yourself, right? Does that make sense? So how do you do this? How do you build your support system? You know, First you have to take a step backwards, right? And really get clear on what is it that you want to be doing, right? I absolutely love having conversations. Probably the most favorite thing that I do is having conversations with people around what their higher ticket offers are, right? So if you've got some ideas about what kind of business you're going to be running in 2024, I want you to think about flipping the funnel, right? if you sell, I've said this 1,000 times, if you sell pens, you can keep selling pens, but how do we find you a distributor that wants to buy 100,000 of your pens, right? What's the $10,000 sale, the $100,000 sale, right? Like that's what I want you to be thinking about. So you need to spend some time thinking about that. And we're actually going to be doing a workshop. I believe it's scheduled for January 9th. You know what? I'll put a link in the show notes to register for it. Okay. So there'll be a link in the show notes to register. We're going to be doing a workshop on January 9th, 2024 on how to build your high ticket offer, because you need to have a target, right? If you're going to get support, I mean, yes, could you get support? Like, is this workshop support on helping you identify your high ticket offer? It is, right? That's what we're doing, right? But then beyond that, once you've identified what that high ticket offer is, once you have some self awareness around how you can create these bigger ticket opportunities so that you're showing up in 2024, breaking the cycle of I need to build a six-figure business, and understanding that, number one, that's not the same as a six-figure paycheck. And you want a six-figure paycheck, which means you need to be building a $250,000 business. And that's available for everybody listening to this show right now if you are investing in yourself to get help to get there. Okay. So I'll put a link in the show notes for the workshop that we're doing in January, so that you can get started with what exactly is that higher ticket thing you can do, so that you can be showing up in a bigger way. And you need to really understand that. But from there, now you got to do some research. You got to seek out your mentors, right? Who are the people who are, the podcast hosts that you listen to? If you listen to these people every week, if you listen to me every week, I would love to get on the phone with you, right? There's a link below in the show notes here, or go to KarenYankovich.com/call. I would love to have a conversation with you. Listen, I expect you to be picky when when you start working with people. I'm picky about who I work with. So if I don't think I can help you, I'm going to tell you that. And I'll tell you how, what I think you can do to get started. It's a conversation of, is this a fit? Not, can Karen sell you something, right? Is this a fit? So you have to start talking to people, seek out mentors, talk to the people that can help you as you step into 2024. Okay. And then I think that looking for mentors that offer some level of peer support is so valuable. I remember back in 2012, when I took Marie Forleo's B School initially, the community at that time was the most valuable part of that program. Okay. I mean, I still use tactics from Marie Forleo's B School, so I'm not knocking the program at all, but the community was what was most valuable for me at that time. That it changed over the years. So those of us that got in early were lucky to have built these amazing, I mean, some of the people that I met my first day of B School in 2024, I'm still close friends with, right? And they're still huge supports for me to my business. So look for something that's got not just support. So when you're investing in yourself, right? Look for something that's going to give you peer support as well. I'm going to be doing an episode coming up on joint ventures and how you can, and all that comes down to leveraging your network, right? Which is why I talk about that. So you want to be thinking about these things. But remember, as you're doing this, as you're building your network, all the way back to that first tip I gave you, did you invest in your brand first? Are you showing up looking like worthy of somebody that somebody wants to get to know in the first place, right? The investment starts with the first conversation, not the money, not the credit card handing over, right? So, start to do some research around who might be a good fit to support you as you step into 2024 in a big way. What is that gift you're going to give yourself in 2024? Who are you going to invest in to help you get where you want to go? And the other thing I would suggest that you make sure is included in this is accountability. I don't invest in things and think I'm not going to do the work. Right? Every time I invest in something, I think I am going to do the work. But let me just tell you something. If you could see the pile of papers right here on my desk that I haven't gotten to yet, like I get distracted. I mean, I'm working on that, and I've got systems and stuff. So there are times that I invest in things and go, crap, I'm like 3 weeks behind or whatever. It happens to all of us, especially smart, successful, busy women. So make sure that when you're doing that, don't be afraid of accountability. It doesn't mean you need a babysitter. It means you want to get the most out of this investment in yourself. Okay. You want to get the most out of this investment in yourself, and understand that as you start to shift your mindset towards investing in yourself and stepping into that next chapter with that investment, know that you are shifting your identity a little bit here. And that's okay. That's okay. That's a pretty cool thing, right? Isn't it? I want to take a minute here because I love to talk about my She's Linked Up Accelerator people. Our She's Linked Up Accelerator program is continuing to evolve. In fact, as I mentioned earlier in the show, as we move into 2024, one of the things we've been asking for more is, what can you do for me, Karen? I'm like too busy to do this myself. And I get that. I get that. I do not at this moment in my career want to run an agency. So I don't really want to do it for you, but we have built out a brilliant strategy to incorporate more done for you into our She's Linked Up Accelerator program. So if you're an alumni listening to this, or you're currently in the program, don't worry, we got you covered. There's going to be options for you to take advantage of this as well. But anybody new coming in is going to have the option to have a lot more done for them than we've been able to offer in the past. And, I talked about community. Our community is such an important part of our program. In fact, like, my community is an important part of the program. I routinely connect my students with my network. In fact, just this week, there was one of my students who was looking to do something, and she's like, I just don't know how to do this. Like, I want to do this, but I need to find somebody that can do this. And remember those people I said I met the first day of B school? Well, I texted one of my friends from the first day of B school, and I said, hey, I have a student that's looking to do this. I know you did this. Are you willing to give her 15 minutes to just guide her in the right direction? She was like, absolutely. Here's my night. Here, give her my email address, right? So it's not just the connections between each other. Like, my, 20 years, 50, more than 20 years now of business connections are I'm using them for your disposal as well. So, and we've recently, so we're incorporating the done for you. You've got this beautiful network of people, and we incorporated accountability into this year, because I took a course that had accountability calls, and I was like, this is amazing. I love this. I want this for my people. So I'm telling you this because we are always shifting this course to be able to best support you. The very first thing we do for people that enroll in our She's Linked Up Accelerator program is put them on my calendar so I can have a big, beautiful brainstorm call with you with what is your high ticket offer. And remember, it is not just about overcharging. It's about being able to over deliver, right? I'm not saying charge $100,000 for your pen, for your $1 pen. I'm saying, what's the big offer? What's the high ticket offer of the fact that you have a pen? So it is my favorite thing to do in my business. So that's the first thing that happens. And that continues to happen. And then we reverse engineer. Remember I said each student gets their customized version of this? Well, that's even becoming more apparent now that we're doing done for you. It's more done for you in the program. So if you want to know what it looks like to be a part of this incredible community as we move into 2024, grab a spot on my calendar, KarenYankovich.com/call, get you to the calendar. I'd love to see your name on the calendar. And you can chat with me or someone on my team, and we'll just have a conversation and see if it's a fit. If it's not a fit, we don't just blow you off, right? We'll give you some tips. We'll give you some, we're like, okay, here's what I think you should do. You need to do this, or this, and then come back to us in 3 months and let's have another talk, right? If you really want to do this, we are here to help you do it, right? But again, I am looking for people that I know we can support. So again, I don't want that to scare you. Know that I am here to support you at any level. In fact, many of the people that come into our program are coming into our program, like I said, they just left corporate, or they're still in corporate, and they're business. They've never had a customer yet, right? But they've got expertise. They're smart. They're successful. They're resourceful. Okay, that's what we look for. So if that's you, I'd love to see your name on our calendar. All right. So there's some challenges, of course, right? As you do this, sometimes let's just take the elephant out of the room. Sometimes the challenge is the investment. But like I said, we find the money for our kid that's never going to be a professional lacrosse player's billion-dollar lacrosse coach. Okay. Find the money. Okay. We work so hard to have money never be in the way of people that really want to be a part of our program. We offer payment plans. We've got a financing opportunity this year for people. So know that it takes some courage sometimes to do that. Thinking about a call I had with somebody one time who, oh my gosh, I loved this person so much. And again, if I know that I can help you, I know that I can help you, right? I knew that I can help you. And part of me knowing that I can help you is me seeing in you that you've got what it takes to get there, right? Like, if you get on the call and continue to make excuses to me about why you're not there yet, I don't want any part of that, right? But if you own it and you're ready to jump in and you're resourceful and ready to do the work. So this woman was like that. She was so ready to do this. And I think she even she got approved for the financing. And then she couldn't pull the trigger because she didn't have the confidence in herself. Her family wasn't, I don't think her family was really backing her. And she's like, I'm just gonna get a job. I'm just gonna get a job. I'm gonna go work at Macy's for a little while and then, or whatever, and then come back to you. And I know that I get it. Believe me, I get it. I get that it takes courage to make an investment in yourself. And I am not looking for you to go into debt to do any program. Okay. But again, let's go back to your kids. How many of you have taken out loans for your kids' college, right? And they're like door dashing now until they figure out what they want to do with their life, right? So investment take so not all loans, not all debt is bad debt. Sometimes investing in yourself is the way you grow your business. So many people learned about that during the pandemic when there was all these funding opportunities, right? Not all debt is bad debt. Believe me when I tell you that took me a long time to learn, right? So if you have to, and it breaks my heart still that this woman is now waiting tables or something, right? And she has a business. She has a business, but she's, she's now putting less time towards her business because she's waiting tables or whatever she's doing. So it's the elephant in the room, and I get that it's a thing. And the other thing too is it's so interesting to me as a business owner when I speak to people that are interested in investing in in the work that we do, and they're like, all right, well, I got to go talk to my husband. And I'm like, all right, well, your husband wasn't on this call. How? And I get it, but your husband wasn't on this call. There's no way you're going to be able to explain to your spouse or your wife or whoever it is, right? There's no way you're going to be able to explain to them what the conversation that you and I had, or you and somebody on my team had. There's no way you're going to be able to do that. Now, we are willing to bring them on the call. We are willing to talk to them as well. And it's not about overcoming objections or anything like that. Is this a fit? And if we think it's a fit and we both want to do this, how do we make this happen? Right. So if you're going to step into this next level, these are some things that come up a lot. That's why I'm mentioning them to you. They're gremlins. We let these gremlins get in our own head, right? I get them. I get to let the gremlins get in my own head sometimes. I get it. And listen, I struggle a little bit. And some of you have heard me say this before. If you're listening to this and you're one of my mentors, you're laughing right now. I struggle a little bit with the difference between intuition and impulse, right? Is it the right choice? What do I feel? Is it the right choice? Yes, it's the right choice. I want to do it. Or is it an impulse, right? So I get wanting to take a little bit of time, but if you're having a conversation and you feel it's the right fit and you've got the funding, let's just do it. Make the jump, invest in yourself. Don't let time pass. Let the gremlins get in your head. Okay. Because here's what's going to happen. You're going to end up spending more money. It happened to me. I did that with a program that I took a couple of years. I probably have 6 figures invested into that program. And it was one of the best programs I've ever taken. And I didn't pull the trigger on the first call. So I lost the opportunity to get the fast decision discount, and I paid more money for it, right? I paid more money for it. Now I got that money back times 1,000, right? But, it's money out the window, right? It's money out the window. There's a reason people offer fast decision discounts, and it's because we let the gremlins get in our way, right? So open the door, let the gremlins out the door. Okay. Some other challenges you might have is imposter syndrome, right? Do you really have the support system? Do you have the time for this? This is another thing I hear a lot. Do I have the time? I really want to invest in myself. I know I need to do this, but boy, is my to-do list long. Again, that's why we built in accountability. And this is, by the way, this isn't an entire episode on why you should join our program, although you should join our program. But this is any program, anything you're looking to do. I want you to understand that today, Christmas Day, give yourself the gift of an investment in yourself. Okay. And, if one of your issues is I got too many things on my to-do list, pay somebody to do this. I'll give you an example. As I'm recording this morning, I'm recording this. It is a Sunday morning. And I really, really needed to go food shopping today. And I tend to waver, like, sometimes I'll Instacart, sometimes I won't. I'm like, cause I'm just like, I could spend that extra $100 it costs me to Instacart, cause it does cost a lot more. Another conversation, a lot of other ways. But I was like, you know what? I need to do that. I need to get this food delivered so that I can sit down and record the podcast and do the things I need to do today. Right. So sometimes you need to You need to just kind of like invest in what it takes to get there. Like save. So that saved me the time, right? I could have said, well, no, I've got all these things to do. I can't get the podcast out this week because I have to go food shopping, right? No, I said, all right, let me pay somebody to do my food shopping so that I can get the podcast out, right? So find ways to clear up your calendar to do this. And again, because the women we work with are smart, successful women, we get that. And we don't have an insane amount of hours each week that we need from you. It's a very limited amount of hours, as a matter of fact. And again, that's why we built the accountability coaches in, right? We've built mindset work in because even after the investment, we have women that are like, oh my gosh, I don't know if I can do this, right? Like, how do I say, like, especially when we write their LinkedIn profiles for them, they're like, can I really say this about myself? Right? Yes, you can. It is time for you to understand your brilliance and to step into your brilliance and invest in your brilliance so that the rest of the world is getting your brilliance and you're not checking them out at the food store. Believe me, I am not knocking out people that check. And thank God for people checking out at the food store because they helped me this morning. Right. But if you have a mission in this world that changes lives, right? Then you got to find the time. You've got to do what you got to do to invest the time. Next week, you're going to meet Tina Wiles, and Tina Wiles is one of our students in our program. Oh my gosh, she's amazing. And I'm not going to give you away too much, but one of the things that Tina does is she helps adults with test anxiety. And I think about the work that Tina is doing, and Tina is killing it. I think about the work that Tina's doing and the ripple effect that has. How many people have gone on to a less than satisfying career because they couldn't pass the real estate exam because of test anxiety? How many people have not passed? She works with mortuary schools. How many people have not done that and are now are underemployed because of that? How many lives has Tina changed because of her work with test anxiety in adults, right? That's what I see when I see the work that I do. I see the ripple effect, and I want you to see the ripple effect of what happens when I know when I bring people like Tina into our program and I can help Tina reach more people with her things, that many, many, many thousands of lives are being changed. And then there's ripple effect beyond that, right? So you need to start seeing that about the work that you're doing, right? And when you don't invest in yourself and you don't reach these levels that are there for you, these ripples don't happen for you, right? Those lives are not being changed. And this is where I can just go on forever. So I don't want to ramble here about that, but hopefully you get what I'm saying there. There's so many things we can talk about on this, right? What are you committed to? Are you committed to diversity and inclusion? Then make sure that you incorporate that into the work that you're doing. Make sure that you look for somebody that supports diversity and inclusion, right? Make sure that your values are being supported, because I do think that that's important. By the way, I do think that that's important, that when you're investing in yourself, you feel really good about your investment. There have definitely been times I invested in people, and I don't expect everybody to have 100% my beliefs. I absolutely do not believe that needs to happen. But there are times, like there was somebody I can think of that wanted to take my program, and she sent me an email and she said, here's what I want to do. Are you prepared to support this? And I was not. I said, no, I'm not. I'm not prepared to support that. Right. So it's important. And I love that she checked, right? She checked with me before she invested, and it wasn't the right investment for her because I really wasn't on the same page with her with what she wanted to build. Right. Now, if she had joined and didn't tell me that beforehand, I would have helped her. Right. But she asked me and I was honest. And I love that she asked me, because if there's a disconnect, I'm always a little bit like, oh boy, like, how am I going to do this and stay in integrity? But they've invested in me. So of course I want to be honorable to that. And, at the same time, I'm sure there's a little bit of that on the other side as well. So check in as you're making these investments and make sure that you're feeling really comfortable with this. Okay. And know that, people like me are here for you to help you make these decisions. Okay. I want you to kind of reflect on your own journey up to this point. You've got another week or two of 2023. You have a week or two of that. Understand that, just reflect. What is it that you want to bring with you from 2023 into 2024, and blow the ever loving F up. Okay. And where can you invest in yourself? What kind of a Christmas gift or a holiday gift can you give yourself that can help you do that, so that we can make 2024 once and for all the year that we've been waiting for. Okay, the year that we've been waiting for. I'm told, and I'm a follower of these kinds of things. I'm definitely not an expert in these kind of things, but I'm told the stars are aligned for this. The stars are aligned for 2024 to be a beautiful year for us entrepreneurs. So I hope that you understand the importance of what that investment in yourself can be, and know that I'm here to support you with that. So a couple of things, like ways that I can help you. Number one, grab a spot on the calendar, KarenYankovich.com/call. It's just the best way to have that conversation and see if it's a fit to work together. Check out the upcoming workshop I have coming up on January 9th, 2024. It is a paid workshop, but it's very, very, very inexpensive. It's just, we're always testing new ways to reach new audiences. So we're testing this because here's the thing too. If I give you a free workshop, I feel like let me change the way I'm saying that. Because it's a paid workshop, I'm going to over deliver. And I like to over deliver on my free workshops, but you're paying me, you're going to get a crap ton of value from that. And what we're going to be focusing on that is building your high ticket offer so that you're going into 2024, not selling. If you want to make $500,000, you don't have to sell 500,000 $1 pens, right? Probably that has a overhead of 90 cents, right? So you're not making any money. I want you to understand what your high ticket offer is, because I want you to be making enough money from day one that you can pay people to help you so that you can do the kinds of things you are meant to be doing on this planet. Okay, so a little bit of a sermon here on Christmas Day, I think, for you guys. My goal is I just want there to be more wealthy women of influence in the world. I know that it's there for you. It is. My heart explodes when I get to watch my clients do this work and show up in a bigger way and start having these new experiences and bringing in the kind of income they've been dreaming about, right? So if you loved what you heard today, please, I love to hear from you. There's a link in the show notes to SpeakPipe, or go to KarenYankovich.com/SpeakPipe and leave me a voice message. Let me know what you thought about this. Tell me what you think. I respond to every one of those messages personally. I would love to have a little mini conversation with you. It's how I can make this a little bit less me talking at you instead of us talking with each other, right? Take a quick screen share of this, share it on social media. Make sure that you're following this podcast on Apple Podcasts. We have so many amazing things coming for you. This is the last episode of 2023. So use the hashtag Good Girls Get Rich. Tag me. I'm at Karen Yankovich. I would love to share that with my audience then. And that's how I can start to support you, right? These little tiny ripples of you sharing my podcast with your audience, and me getting maybe a couple of new listeners, and me sharing your share with my audience, and me bringing a couple people to your attention is how we start that ripple. And that is what I want. So just go to KarenYankovich.com/266. You'll see all the details for this show. If you're listening it on Christmas Day, I hope you're having an amazing day. Whatever it is you're celebrating, know that I'm celebrating with you, and I am celebrating you. I'm celebrating you for thinking about what it might look like to actually make an investment in yourself, to give yourself the best gift of the holiday season. Okay. Happy holidays to everybody. Happy New Year. And I will see you back here next year.